Good morning. My name is Diana Warner. I'm a member of the Palestine Partnership Team at Westminster. The social justice forums are built around a common theme every year, and this program year, the theme is Building Solidarity Together, walking alongside all God's people, striving for a more just world, acting courageously to transform social systems and relationships. This morning, we are pleased to welcome members of the leadership from Anar and Healing to Hope. They will be sharing their work of building hope and resilience in Palestinian children. Anar is a nonprofit based in Bethlehem and operating in the West Bank that aims to break the cycle of intergenerational trauma and provide healing for Palestinian children and caregivers experiencing ongoing Israeli occupation and violence. Anar was founded by Rami Khader, a member of our partner Christmas Church. And we will hear directly from Rami via Zoom, which is pretty amazing, from Bethlehem. Sarah Myers, Executive Director of Healing to Hope, Anar's sister organization in the US, is here in person. Rami is the founder of several prominent initiatives and organizations, including DR Theater, DR Academy for Children and Youth, the Bethlehem International Performing Arts Festival, and Anar Organization for Psychosocial Support. Sarah's background includes 12 years on faculty of Augsburg University in the theater department and MFA Creative Writing program, during which she traveled to Bethlehem to develop coursework with faculty from Dar al-Kalima University, another of our Palestinian partners. First, a few logistical items. We ask you to hold questions and comments until after the presentations. For those attending in person in the Meisel room, raise your hand and we'll bring a microphone to you so all, including those on the live stream, can hear your question or comment. For those attending on the live stream, please submit your comment or question in the live stream chat, and we'll monitor that and raise your question and or comment. This is not working. Not advancing. Okay, thank you. As part of our ongoing effort to promote respectful conversations around concerns in our community, the social justice team has established guidelines for the social justice forums that you now see on the screen. What did you do? Sorry. This morning, I would like to highlight just a couple of points, and please take a minute to review all of the guidelines. Equity of voices, we benefit from hearing a variety of voices, so let's leave room for other perspectives and encourage curiosity. As we encounter new ideas, we benefit from asking genuinely curious or clarifying questions. Before we get started, a short prayer. Let us pray. Holy One, God of justice, breathe into us today a spirit of curiosity and humility. Help us engage with mindfulness, following the lead of voices from our community. Guide our speech and our self-awareness so we may honor the divine in all people. Amen. So now I will hand things off to Sarah and Rami to get started.
Hello, everyone. If you saw me with my phone, it's not that I'm texting. I'm communicating with Rami in Palestine right now, trying to make sure he's here with us. So just taking one moment. So he is here with us right now. Yes? He is here? Okay, great. We've done different things technically over time, and so this is a new one for us in terms of our communication. But thank you all for welcoming us here today. I am Sarah Myers, and Can Rami introduce himself right now? Is that possible? We'll wait for him to get situated, perhaps. So the first thing I want to do is just thank you again. So thank you so much to the Westminster Social Justice Group and the Palestine Partnership Team for having us here. I want to especially thank Diana Warner and Kathleen Campbell and Reverend Elena Tyler. Also, other folks who've welcomed us in the past, Kathy Fisher, Jackie DeVries, who was one of my colleagues at Augsburg, as well as Melanie Onstad and Philip Friedman, Philip is on the board, and Melanie introduced me to many people at Westminster in the first place. So thank you all. Diana already gave you a brief overview, and you read about the overview of Healing to Hope and Anar. I will just repeat a couple of things just in terms of clarity while we're waiting for Rami to join us here. Healing to Hope was formed not too long ago, a few months back, really, at this point. We were officially registered in the state of Minnesota in July. We are a volunteer-driven, US-based charitable organization, still waiting for our 501c3 paperwork. Our mission is to increase awareness and understanding of Anar, which is a nonprofit based in Bethlehem in Palestine that started in the summer of 2023. Our mission is to focus on advancing the well-being and resilience of children who have been impacted by violence and oppression. Healing to Hope shares Anar's vision to promote this mental and emotional healing of Palestinian children, youth, and caregivers through meaningful community-based psychosocial support and arts-based healing practices. So that is the work that we do in collaboration with each other. We will move on, hopefully, to Rami giving a presentation, and then I will talk a little bit more about Healing to Hope. We'll have a conversation between Rami and me, and then we'll open things up for questions. So that's our morning together. So now I have to ask again, is Rami with us? Is he ready?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good, Rami. I'm so glad. Oh, Rami, I can hear you, but I can't see you, but I'm picturing you in my mind. So Rami, am going to start the slides whenever you're ready, and please feel free to introduce yourself. I'm going to step back.
Sure. My name is Rami Khader. I'm the founder and director of Anar from Bethlehem. I have visited Westminster many years back, and I have so many memories and friends as well. I'm happy to present to you our journey of healing and to hope by the work of Anar. Thank you for inviting us today to tell you about the work of Anar and Healing to Hope. As of today, almost 500 days after the genocide and ethnic cleansing in Gaza, the statistics are staggering. According to OCHA, over 47,354 Gazans have lost their lives, murdered, and almost more than 100 have been injured as well, many of whom are lost many parts of their bodies and became disabled now. About 1 million out of 2.2 million were forced to flee within Gaza, and not for once, not for twice, but some of them could be for 10 times they had to change from one place into the other. The situation in the West Bank is less intense, but it is also a very difficult one. Just on my way to be with all of you, the Israeli soldiers blew up an entire neighborhood in Jenin refugee camp with people inside their homes as well. We can see at least maybe 10 to 15 houses were blown as a result of this operation. But in January alone, 53 Palestinians have been killed, among them 8 children. According to Defense for Children International, more than 1,200 children on a yearly basis are abducted as hostages in Israeli custodies. And only in 1 month of September, and just to give you a range of the number, only in September, they imprisoned 242 Palestinian children. And when I say children, it's 12 years old and above to 17 and 18. Only in September, as I said, 242. And the situation is really a very difficult one. Every day we witness further land confiscations, more blockades and checkpoints, day and night Israeli military raids, and this just became our daily part, a part of our daily life. As recent access restrictions have been really an issue, with prolonged delays at checkpoints and new road gates and blocks instead. People of you have visited Bethlehem and are aware of Bethlehem. Recently, the Israeli Authority installed about 89 gates in and around Bethlehem. Taking my children to school on a daily basis, we pass 4 of them, and it's truly a nightmare for the children. It is a genocide that world leaders cannot continue to ignore. No child, no family, no community should ever endure such suffering. As Palestinians, and here I share it from my heart, the most painful truth that we had to really see is that we are not as equal to other human beings when it comes to political class and political leaders. Still, we have hope, even that we search hardly for it on a daily basis. It is indeed hard to find hope on our end. Hope, a word that is so close to my heart, is very hard to come by these days, as each day seems to bring more oppression and more injustice than the day before. But even so, I want to share with you where we at Anar find our little hope and how we work for it on a daily basis. I want to speak not only about the challenges, but also about how we are striving to bring healing amidst the hardships we have to deal with on a daily basis. When I founded with my colleagues Anar in summer 2023, our mission was very clear. We wanted to support Palestinian children and their families by responding to their mental health and psychosocial needs in a way that respects their dignity and their strength. We chose the name Anar, and for you who wonder what that means, it means to light up. And that was our response, to be a light in the midst of darkness for every child, for every parent, and for each community facing oppression and injustice. We did not know at that time that a genocide is coming and that our work would become even more needed and more at risk. Our community-based psychosocial support program, we call it Community Self-Help Hubs, is where this mission comes to life. Through this program, we train youth, volunteers, and community leaders to recognize and address the mental health needs around them in their communities. Together, they learn to identify where the need is and how to support it, and how to create safe, healing spaces in their own communities. In this way, we're not just supporting individuals. We are building a community of people who can lift each other up and stay to lift each other up even after we finish work in that community. Through this network, we offer group counseling for children, group counseling for caregivers who have faced violence and oppressions directly. It isn't easy work, but it's vital to create spaces where individuals and families can come together to heal, and through that process, help each other in the healing process as well. In this place where mental health and psychosocial support is way too much needed, a community-based model is the way, because we do not have the capacities nor the funding to respond to one-on-one counseling in Palestine. The need is really huge, that if we do not invest in community-based models, we will never be able to reach all the people who need that support. Our second program is called Shababik, which means windows in English. This program aims to support youth, particularly those who have studied humanities, social work, psychology, or any other in the helping professions, by providing them with mental health and psychosocial support, mentorship, and coaching. The goal is to ensure that they are healed as youth and as professionals, and are equipped with the necessary resources and training to offer community-based interventions, including but not creating, and that is the purpose of why it is important to train professionals and youth members, because we do not want to end up creating harm to affected populations, even with good intentions. Youth who participated in the program reported that after a year, they not only felt healed themselves and more self-aware, but also became more engaged in serving their communities. Another program is called Makan, which translates to spaces, a program that is very close to my heart. Here, children gather to experience the beauty of creativity, art, theater, movement. Makan, as a program, has become a place where children feel safe enough to play, to laugh, to be children again, even if only for a while. Together, as children, they create art and stories, sharing their emotions and finding comfort in each other. The program is about helping children hold onto their sense of wonder, even in the face of hardship that's hard to imagine for them as children in our context. The main question here, and in the search of the word hope, what does all of this looks like on the ground, while our counselors are trying to reach communities and support them? Our team faces the constant challenge of moving from one city to another, from one village to the next, and from a refugee camp to another. Many days, the official roads are blocked by gates and checkpoints, and we can't reach our destination by public transportation. But our staff doesn't stop. When roads are closed, they walk for hours to get to the communities that rely on them in support. They are stopped, questioned by the Israeli authorities at checkpoints, thrown at by the settlers, and are sometimes put in situations where it really is dangerous to be in that area. The work environment is far from easy or convenient. Going back to children we serve, many arrive unable to express the fear and confusion they carry with them. Some are silent, withdrawn, angry. Others are restless, pretending that everything is normal. It is really a heavy weight for such young shoulders to carry. But after just a few sessions, psychosocial sessions, we see that walls begun to come down. They start to share their thoughts, their fears, their vulnerability, and little by little, they begin to heal, but most importantly, heal together. It's not only the children who bear this weight. Parents, such as myself, try to stay strong to protect their children from the fear and uncertainty they themselves feel. But deep down, many are haunted by the question, what kind of future will my child have in Palestine? For some, this question has become so painful that they feel they have no choice but to leave. Many families, especially Christian families as well from Bethlehem, already made the decision and left as well. The Child Protection Area of Responsibility estimates that around 700, it's between 650 and 700,000 children in the occupied Palestinian territories are in urgent need for child protection and mental health services. And yet, amid all this, we witness an incredible resilience. Caregivers, children, youth, social workers, community leaders, they are not giving up. They're determined to support their communities. They want to learn new skills, to create safe spaces, and to heal together. It's in this quiet, persistent resilience that I see the true meaning of hope. For us, hope isn't about turning a blind eye to suffering. It's about facing it together as a community and finding that strength, even if it is hard to find sometimes, in our shared humanity. Our healing is collective, just as our struggles are. By learning, sharing, supporting one another, we create a hope that isn't just ideal, it's practical, resilient force into our healing process. This isn't a hope that just waits passively, it's a hope that takes action, finding ways forward no matter how difficult the path is. These are not only words, our counselors share it with us on a daily basis, and we see it. How hard is it to really find hope in this struggle, even as counselors sometimes? Before I finish, I want to leave you with this. Hope isn't always loud or visible in Palestine, especially during a genocide and during a really hard time in the West Bank at the moment. Yet, it's found in our work, in small acts of kindness, in moments of solidarity with the local communities, and in spaces where people can come together to heal. This is why we do what we do, even if it is a difficult task to do at the moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rami. Yes, please. I think you can hear your applause. Everyone is applauding for you. Rami, I'm going to share a little bit about Healing to Hope, and everyone, I'm going to share a little bit about Healing to Hope now, and then we'll open things up for conversation between Rami and me, and then with the crowd. Excuse me. So, as I mentioned earlier, our objective as a nonprofit based in the US is to raise awareness about this work. So the way that we think about it is that, as Rami shared, Anar means to light up. Our job at Healing to Hope is to illuminate the ways in which Anar lights up the lives of children. So to continue that light metaphor. We do that through presentations like these, webinars, one-on-one meetings and group gatherings. We do that through our newsletter. There's a sign-up sheet that is over there at that table if you want to join our newsletter to find out more about the work before you go. We try to keep people abreast of all of the things that Rami's been talking about and advances in the work itself. We'll talk in a moment about all the things that Anar has done. I mean, just the ways they've exponentially expanded and expanded in depth as well as breadth. We also provide support in terms of volunteer coordination. We're starting a, excuse me, sorry, I'm having allergy problems today. We're starting a local impact leader program in various sites around the country. We have people on our board who are all over in California and Atlanta. We have folks interested in our work in Chicago and Michigan, and so we're starting to spread the word in that way. We have US-based tours for Anar staff, specifically Rami and his family and his children will be here this coming summer. So I do hope that we can connect with you in the future if you would like to meet Rami in person. He's more amazing in person even than when he's just shared. And his lovely wife Julene and wonderful children, and we're so happy that he'll be able to be here across the US in June, fingers crossed. We also do site visits for U.S. supporters to Anar in Bethlehem. That's something we're just starting. 2 of our board members have been there in the past few months. One was there for a whole month, providing support, and one of our board members just returned 2 days ago, who was there for the Understanding Christian Zionism conference that some people know about. And so he was able then to spend an additional day-long visit to witness and support the work. And then we focus on meaningful fundraising efforts. That's part of our objective as well. So I just want to make sure if you do want to continue learning about the work of Anar, that you have our information. I'll share this, and it's on that contact sheet if you want to sign up. We have 2 websites. We have the healingtohope.org website and the anar.ps website. You'll see if you go to either of them, we are sister organizations through and through. We regard ourselves as sisters in the world doing different kind of work. And you can find out more in depth about Anar's programs by going there. We also have an email address, which is info@healingtohope.org, which goes directly to me and to others that I share with. And so if you'd like to stay in touch in that way, we welcome that as well. And yes, I see someone taking pictures. Please do take pictures if you like, and I'm happy to give you information afterwards. So what I think I'd like to do is stop sharing for a moment. Oops, I got ahead. And see if Rami... There we go. Are you there, Rami? Can we see your... Yay! All right. Can you see me, Rami?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Oh, it's so good to see you. Okay. Even though we see each other all the time on video and soon in person, I hope. So I was thinking, Rami, that maybe we could have talk about a few issues that have come up ahead of preparation for this event today, and then open things up to folks here. So I think that maybe a good place to start would be, you talked a lot about the real need for Anar at this moment, at every moment in Palestine. And I'm wondering, in terms of beyond the larger journey of the organization, if you could share a little bit, if you're comfortable, with your personal journey towards creating Anar. What fueled you to create this organization in the first place?
Sure. There are actually 2 things that fueled the journey in me and made it so urgent as well. One of them, while I was working with child detainees and their caregivers. And the whole process of working with children who are abducted from their homes, and then after a year, months, will be sent back to their homes, but they will be sent back to home full of fear, anger, PTSD, and a lot of emotional scars as well. What I have seen is that the trauma they suffer from, although it is a heavy trauma to carry around, but what was obvious as well is that they have been carrying trauma as well from their fathers and their grandfathers who have experienced somehow the same, and it became part not only from who they are, but it became the trauma were given to them by their parents as well. And that somehow made me think that trauma in Palestine and psychological disorders and effects and stresses and all of that is not only coming from the heavyweight on the ground at the moment, but it's really coming from generational trauma as well and structural trauma as well. And for that, I started to really think that in order to really heal the present trauma and the intergenerational trauma as well, we have to come up with a community-based model that invests in healing sustainably in communities rather than only healing individuals. Because as much as we have capacity as therapists and healers and artists to support children and their caregivers in our community, the need is way huge than what Anar and another 20 or 40 organizations will be able to support at the moment. So healing the root cause, which is providing, advocating for justice, is as important in that healing process as the healing itself. For that, we work on empowering communities in order to heal each other, because the suffering, the injustice is just beyond all of us. That was the motive why we need Anar in Palestine at the moment.
Thank you for that. I'm wondering, I'm so sorry. I'm wondering if you could talk maybe a little bit about the ways in which Anar is growing in 2025. I'm thinking about the new office in Hebron, some of the UNICEF grant work. It would be wonderful, I think, for folks to hear about that.
Sure. You know, I don't say about this a lot, but when it came to me that I really want to pursue this dream of serving communities in the healing process, I left my job, and it took me about 5 months to really find out what this internal feeling looks like, and what is it. That big risk to take it in Palestine as a parent, as a father, is not easy. But I think my dream was even way bigger than my fears at the moment. I took a small office in nearby the Nativity Church, really near at the Manger Square, and it was really a tiny little office. I met one of the board members. I remember Karen at the moment in that office as well when she was in Bethlehem. And slowly we started to create and mobilize people around the vision, and other board members came to be founding members, and we created a board. We created an organization. We registered the organization in Palestine. That was in September. And that's when we officially started to work. It was only myself as a volunteer at the moment, and another 6 volunteers who are board members at the moment. It took us about until the end of 2023 to be able to have projects and all of that. And from September to December 2023, we had 2 partners believing in our work. Not too much, but we were able to move to a place in Beit Sahur where we are situated at the moment. And I remember the first hire was in 2024. My colleague Dara, who heads the psychosocial unit. At the moment, we were only working in Bethlehem and Hebron. At the moment, we are 13 staff members working in Bethlehem, Hebron, Nablus, Tulkarem, Jenin, almost in every corner of the West Bank, more heavily in the south, but also in the middle and the southern part of the West Bank. And through our community-based model, which we trained in 2024, almost 200 youth and leaders on how to support their communities. I would confidently say that Anar became everywhere. In every little town, in every refugee camp, we have volunteers who are supporting their communities, and we are providing coaching and support to those young people.
Thank you, Rami. I want to leave enough time for questions here, but I think I'd like to ask one more just between the two of us. I often think I don't know if I've shared this recently with you, but I often think about something you said at one point about when things get particularly hard, how you go and spend time with the children and find hope among the children in the programs. And so I'm wondering if there is something you could share with people who are here today, just a story or a moment that you hold that illustrates, that illuminates some of the work that Anar is doing.
Sure. It is definitely, it's really true that our work is healing for us as well, because when we feel the burden and how heavy the situation is, that's when we run to find children and caregivers group to work with. And by that, you have no idea how healing that is for us as well. Especially if you go through the whole process of healing with the children. So by the first session, you see children faces are very strange. They are uh, full of fear. They do not want to speak. They do not want to play. They're very emotionally invested in what is actually happening at the moment. And as we go with sessions with them, usually we do 5 to 8 sessions with the children based on what's the situation they have to face as well. But once it is fifth or sixth or seventh session, children are full of life. They are able to really speak about their emotions. They want to play. They want to get back to school. You feel like you brought life and hope back in those children as well. And I think that is what we look for in our work. We are not working with the children who are not directly affected by the occupation, by the checkpoints, by the invasions, the soldiers, the settlers. We work with children and their caregivers who are brutally affected by this occupation. So giving them a little of healing, a sense of healing and a little sense of hope is life to them because they have lost everything as well. But let me just share very quickly a moment where we were working with children in Hebron, in the southern hills of Hebron, which is an area that will be confiscated by the Israeli authorities. And the settlers make the life of people living in Masafer Yatta, it's called Masafer Yatta, they make their life really difficult on day and night raids. They take their tents, they don't let them build anything. So they really want to ensure that they will leave that area. But after 8 sessions of working with children there, by the end of the session, the children were crying like they have lost a very important part of their life. And when we asked them you were happy just 10 minutes ago, why you are really crying badly? And to them, it was the last session. Unfortunately, for even us, we couldn't leave and we had to make another 8 sessions for them. But it is those moments that really make our work and our life better, I would say, and healed.
Thank you so much, Rami. I think it feels like a good time to open things up for questions. So I understand there are live questions and questions on the live stream, but I see one already. So I'm going to I'm going to repeat them to you, Rami. Yeah, Kathy.
Rami, in telling that story about the children who were happy one moment and then crying the next, when you ask them why, I'm sorry, I did not hear your answer. Could you repeat that, please?
Sure. When we ask them why you are crying, and just 10 minutes back you were laughing, enjoying the counseling session. To them, that was the end. I mean, it's the eighth session, and it is the end of the work with us. So they were crying because they want more. They want us to be there with them more. And we had to make another 8 sessions, and we're still working with them. It's just to show the need for children to really have sources of hope and healing at the moment.
I see a question over. Oh, we're going to go that way. No, Diana has the mic. Go ahead,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. If people are interested in following sort of the facts of what's happening to children, Defense of Children International is a group of lawyers who track the taking of children, how many are arrested, how they're kept. And if you just go search Defense of Children International, DPI Palestine, you can get a monthly newsletter that gives you just the facts, which are terrifying. But is your work in community involved arts-based therapy, or what kind of work is being done with the children?
Sure. We have different methodologies that we use in terms of therapy with children and caregivers, and we use them based on the level and intensity of the suffering and what children and their caregivers experience as well. For instance, many of the children who were in Israeli jails that we work with experience PTSD. So we use cognitive behavioral therapy with them because it's a very complicated cases. Sometimes we use EMDR as well. We have a lot of methodologies that we are adopting and using, but when it comes to children who are not, I would say, traumatized, but they have experienced violence and oppression, we use different sorts of methodology, including art-based methodologies, drama therapy, art-based therapies, and all of that. And just to share one thing, actually, that we have seen while using art therapy is that children, they really tend to speak about their inner fears in drawing more than anything else. Just before the ceasefire, a week before the ceasefire, in one of our sessions, 10 children out of 11 children, they drew images that has to do with begging for ceasefire, which really translate to what they see on news, what they see, what their hopes are as well. So yeah, we use a lot of art-based therapies when it comes to children.
I want to make sure that people who are on social media also know that Anar has a very robust social media presence, and you can actually learn much more about all of the workshops that they're doing on a almost daily basis. I'm thinking, Rami, about some recent posts around puppet workshops and the ways that counselors were working with children with puppets and ways to kind of navigate their emotions in a way that they're using something exterior to themselves. And those kinds of arts-based methodologies are very clear if you want to look at a lot of the work Anar is doing on social media.
Good morning. No, good evening to you, probably, Rami.
Sure.
My name is Sheila. I have a couple of quick questions. Are you aware of other sister brother parallel organizations that are working beside you, so to speak, to help with the same thing? And the other one is, I'm aware of our sister church, Liberty Church here, and Alika is her PhD was in trauma, and whether you are aware of their church's work to help their community with trauma.
If you are referring to organizations who are very similar to us in Palestine, yes, we have a very strong coordination and working groups that all of us are part of, because as I said, the need is huge and would not be compensated by us or another organization. So we try really to create collective of organizations who are serving on the ground to really support the communities. And also because in our government setting, we do not have a very clear case management and referral system. So we try to do interagency, inter-organization referral system, because some of the cases we do not have, for instance, expertise, or we don't work such cases, and that's when we refer them to other organizations or to private clinics as well. I hope I answered or I understood your question, the first part of your question. But about the second, no, I'm not aware of the church, and I'd really like to know more because I think we have so much to share and learn and exchange when it comes to trauma and its effect on marginalized communities in different settings as well.
Thank you, Rami. I'll make sure that you get connected.
Are there other questions for Rami?
I'm just curious to ask, what's the tradition that the kids that you are serving, like the percentage, are they Muslim background or Christian background or Jewish background?
Sure. We serve mainly Palestinian children who are living in the West Bank. We're really hoping to be present in Gaza once things are more clear and accessible as well. But in terms of the background of the children we work with children in refugee camps, in villages, in cities, Christian, Muslim. We reach out to children where they are, and that's what we provide at the moment. In terms of religion, we don't have a program for people from certain background or religion. We just support children wherever they are and wherever the need is at the moment. But basically, we work with everyone.
Thank you,
Work, but I would clearly say that our work is mainly with children who are extremely exposed more than others from violence and oppression on daily basis. So we work in Masafir Yatta, in Area C, areas nearby the Israeli illegal settlements. We work in refugee camps, and that's where most of our work will be.
We may have time for one more quick question if there is one. Anyone?
I've thought for quite a while that one of the things that needs to be worked on is the worth and equality of every individual in that part of the world. I think part of the atrocities that occurred in Israel conducting the war was that their view that the Jewish people are worth more than the Arab people or the Palestinian people. And you see that in prisoner swaps. I understand you want to get out of jail and that, but you'll have 5 prisoners released from Palestinian and a couple hundred of the Palestinians released. And I don't know how you work on that, but there is a huge perception over there that the Jewish people could justify doing the kinds of things they did in the war.
Yeah, thanks, Art. That's maybe not a question so much as a comment, and thank you. And I think we are.
Yeah,
about
so
ready
I know
to
we have
wrap.
a tight turnaround. So Rami, thank you so much for joining us from Palestine.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and thanks to all of you. It's been really wonderful to be able to speak with you today. I'm going to stick around afterwards if anyone wants more information, and I'm going to hand things over to Diana once we figure out how to get the slide back up. Okay. Bye, Rami. Okay, hang on. Oh, wait. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to share screen. Just kidding. Okay. 1 second. Oh no.
Well,
All right, here we go. No, I have it. Okay.
with or without,
We've got
with or without the slide. Thank you so much to Sarah and to Rami for sharing your insights and perspectives. It was really good to have you back at Westminster. Rami, I know you have been here before some years ago. Next week's forum will feature Westminster's Susan Sheridan Tucker, Executive Director of the Minnesota Alliance on Problem Gambling. Susan will speak to the problems associated with gambling addiction and her work with the Minnesota legislature. Appropriately, Susan will be speaking on Super Bowl Sunday, the largest annual gambling event in the United States. We look forward to welcoming you then. I would just note for those of you who are particularly interested in Palestine and our partnership, 3 weeks from today, on February 3rd, we will have another forum, which should be remarkable. The working title is From Palestine to Minnesota, Navigating Difficult Conversations and Taking Actions That Can Change and Save Lives. The presenters will be Ruben Slobiansky, Julie Elhard, and Ariella Tilson from local Jewish Voice for Peace. So join us then too. And again, if you're interested in getting more regular information from Sarah at Healing to Hope, there are sign-up sheets for emails on the table here. Thank you so much.